an average of 4.7 pounds during the holidays. But that's not the issue. Here's the big issue is the weight gain happens during the holidays and it happens in different countries, different levels. But the main problem is they don't lose it. When women over 40 gain weight during the holidays, they don't lose it. And statistics show that after they gain it, many people have a little dip before the holidays and it goes up. They keep it year after year after year after year. And you've probably noticed, anyone watching this, that especially if you're over 40, each year, as you get older, normal weight, the average weight on the scale seems to keep going up and up and up. It used to be that 170 was the normal, now 180 is, and you just kind of slowly accept that it keeps happening. This is very common, and there's something we can do about it. So one, we're going to talk about how we can make it so we don't lose weight and gain weight during the holidays, and how we can stop gaining weight now. And this is probably not your first rodeo. You've probably tried at least one of these solutions or heard about it from a friend. Maybe you've tried it yourself. Maybe you're thinking about trying it. I get it. It's confusing. There are so many solutions out there. And everyone you talk to is going to say, I got your solution. I have this figured out. I will teach you how to do it. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you that I have science, and science will work, and it's different for every woman. And it can be really frustrating if you've tried one of those things. You've tried many of those things. And Sharon, if you want to tell me if there's any of these you've tried or any that you've tried, any ways you've tried to lose weight that aren't on there, let me know. I'd love to know what else is out there. But I talk to hundreds of women each month, and there are so many different solutions, and it gets so confusing, especially if you do it and your friend got results, but you don't. You're like, why didn't this work for me? I don't get it. It worked for my friend. How come it didn't work for me? It can get frustrating. And if you go to the doctor, doctors can say stuff like, hey, your blood work looks fine. Don't worry about it. Just exercise more and eat less. Stop eating fries. And the doctor can also say, hey, there's nothing wrong with you. You're just getting older. They sort of sweep you under the rug. And that's one of the main reasons I became so passionate about helping women. And eventually women just say, forget it. I'm going to give up. That's it. I throw in the towel. No more. Now, here's the thing. Most systems of weight loss, whether you're trying not to gain any weight or trying to lose weight you already gained, are working on the old calories in, calories out science. If you're a woman over 40, if your hormones have changed at all over the last 5 to 10 years, this old science doesn't work for you. So I'm here to tell you that it doesn't matter. This is not true. I should put a big X through it because it doesn't matter how much you diet and exercise. If your hormones aren't aligned, you aren't going to lose weight, and it's going to be very easy to gain weight. All right, but I'm here to tell you, I'm here to teach you and show you how to enjoy the rest of your year. Eat what you want during the holidays without the guilt of gaining weight. Because that's the thing. It comes with a lot of guilt, comes with a lot of shame. But let's address the elephant in the room. Who is this guy and why should you listen to me? And why is a guy talking to me, a woman, about my hormones? I mean, he hasn't gone through menopause. True, I have not. However, I have spent the last 25 years of my life helping people lose weight. In fact, I've won awards for it. I've helped thousands of people lose over 20 pounds. I've owned my own gym. I have been a personal trainer, a nutritionist, and a transformation expert. Now, don't be too impressed because most of the people like in most gyms, like in most Weight Watcher programs, gain the weight back within 2 years, especially women in the over 40 and men over 50. And some people could not lose the weight at all. Well, a few things happened. One, people at my gym stopped losing weight. And two, I had a big life scare with my mom. My mom was going through the menopausal changes and she was trying every medication under the sun. And let me tell you, when she had her first heart attack and open heart surgery, and her second, and she just kept taking more and more medications, 2 heart attacks, 2 surgeries. I knew that there had to be a better way. And that's when I realized I had more to learn. And I did. Now, a lot of women are surprised. Why is this guy talking to me about hormones and metabolism? He hasn't gone through it. Why do I specialize now in women, helping women that are going through a menopausal transition? Well, I want to answer that question. I want to let you know you're in good hands. I actually became an accredited practitioner in order to help my mom. And while I was helping her, I got to see firsthand how women are getting swept under the rug, how they're being gaslighted, how doctors are saying, hey, there's nothing wrong with you. Just exercise more and eat less. Or you're just getting older, it's the way it is. Or try this HRT, try this medication, try this Wegovy, try semaglutide. There's so many, they'll just throw medications at you, or they'll tell you there's nothing wrong with you, and the problem doesn't get solved. So when I saw that, and I was actually able to discover, and the reason I'm so passionate is I was able to discover while helping my mom a method that works for every woman who sticks with it and does it. So when I'm helping you, I'm kind of helping my mom at the same time. So, like I said before, besides being an accredited specialist, and that's with hormone metabolism specifically for women, I have 25 years under my belt as a fitness pro that used to do it the wrong way, the old science. So I know it from both sides of the angle, and I'm happy to share that with you. All right, and I didn't just go back and get my master's. That was step number one. I also learned from some of the top professionals in the industry, Dr. Trevor Kashey, Dr. Mindy Pels. Learned a lot from her. In fact, if you don't work with me, look her up. She knows her stuff when it comes to hormones in women. Dr. Mark Hyman also knows his stuff. And Dr. Andrew Huberman, because no hormone works alone. And hormones have been the issue for years, but the new science is now uncovering just how impactful it is and also what we can do about it in our day-to-day life without any drugs, prescriptions, potions, patches, or pills. In fact, I've been doing it now for the last 5 years, and Deb, she was using the old science and she could not lose weight. Deb's a registered nurse, but all the exercise she did, all the dieting she did, didn't work. Weight was not coming off. However, balancing her hormones, had a body composition shift. She lost the body fat and kept the muscle. And she's done this now happily ever after on her own. So after she learned the new science, she was able to apply it and keep it as her lifestyle. And that's what I want for it. But let's start with just what's coming up now, the holidays. The new science weight loss can apply to the holidays starting today. I'm going to show you how. I want you to think hormone alignment. Because if you are overweight and you've gone through menopause, your hormones are not aligned. Because when they align again, your weight will go back to a healthy, normal weight for you. Now, it's just me and you, Sharon. So if you wanted to tell me your current weight and how much you want to lose, I could really gear this towards you more. Because no matter how much you want to lose or where your current weight is, a shift has to happen. Thank you, Sharon. A shift. We have to shift our body composition. In order to do that, we have to shift our hormones and we have to shift our metabolism. But it all starts with the hormones. All of it. If you don't exercise, if you don't eat right, if you don't do anything else but align your hormones, you're going to be like Stacy. Stacy did it all. I mean, meal prepping, macro counting, working out, going to the gym, working with a trainer. And she was just dealing it. She would fight off the sweets. She wanted them, she'd fight them off. But 9 months later, she looks in the mirror, same face, same body. It was hormone alignment that was the game changer for her because her weight wasn't going down. Now, I am not a doctor, but I have had so much education in this one topic. I kind of feel like one, but I'm here to tell you I'm an accredited practitioner. I'm not a doctor. But let's hear what doctors have to say about this. Dr. Minnie Pels. Balancing hormones is a cornerstone of effective fat loss. Nourish your body to support hormonal harmony and watch the fat melt away. She's right. Dr. J. Tita. Balance hormones, ignite metabolism. It's the roadmap to effective and sustainable fat loss. And these are quotes from their books. Dr. Jason Fung, he was one of the first people to discover this. Hormone balance, that's what really changes the game. And it basically teaches your body how to burn fat again. It turns on the fat burning machinery. All right, Stacy did that. I worked with her and she actually had massive progress in her first 3 months. And she didn't have to go on any restrictive diets. And the sugar cravings went away. And when she looked in the mirror 3 months later after starting, she had a different face, different body. Things felt different. And this was not the old science, but the new science way of balancing hormones, aligning hormones. And Stacy even made more progress. Next stop, six-pack abs. So she has realized that this new science works, and she's made it part of her daily lifestyle. So that's what we're going to do for you, Sharon, and anyone watching this replay. Hormone alignment heals your hormones, and it burns fat at the same time. So our objective is to heal and align your hormones as much as we can going into the holidays, and then I'm going to give you a special plan to eat whatever you want during your holiday feast. But first, let's focus on taking back control of your hormones, because you probably already know this intuitively, but your hormones are not working in your favor. You've probably known intuitively for a long time that it was your hormones causing the issue. So this solution is 100% natural, doesn't require any prescriptions for pills or HRT or GLP-1s, which are glucagon-like peptides like semaglutide, gosh, and Wegovy. And those are all putting an artificial hormone in your body, and no hormone works alone. So when you put an artificial hormone into your body, it does not balance your hormones. And that's the name of the game, balancing your hormones and burning fat at the same time. More experts. Balancing hormones is not just about weight loss. It's the key to living a healthy, happy life, vitality, sustainable fat burning. This is all new science. I didn't learn this in college when I first got my degrees and my certification. Your nutritionist may not know this. Your doctor may not know this. And if they do, there's only a handful of practitioners putting this out for the world. Hormones govern not just your health, but your ability to burn fat. Align them and the body becomes a fat-burning furnace. That's Dr. Anna. And Dr. Hyman, one of my favorite guys. When hormones are in balance, weight loss becomes a natural expression of the body in harmony. I'm not the only one that knows this. However, I am the only one that was a personal trainer for 25 years and working at a gym before I became a hormone practitioner. So we all come at it from different angles. But let's talk about you, Sharon, because you are here. The number one thing, let's start making hormones work in your favor, especially when it comes to losing weight. And we're going to do it with something called metabolism shifting. And I'm going to teach you how to do it right now. In fact, we're going to map out your first week right now. You okay with that? So instead of me just talking and talking and talking and talking, I can actually get you something that you can take away and use. Is that all right with you? Give me a thumbs up or a yes. All right. So here's how this works and why it works. Your body needs space to heal hormones. It needs space. And that means time spent not eating. Now, before you think this is intermittent fasting, no, completely different. I'll show you why. But first, I'm going to give you the science. When your body reaches a certain point with 0 calories, it shifts to fat burning. And when it shifts to fat burning, it's also in hormone balancing mode. That's when we start balancing the hormones. But you have to do it in the correct way, or you won't balance your hormones, and any weight loss will be temporary. And here's the clincher. The correct way is different for every woman. But we're going to figure out yours over the next week, Sharon. Here's kind of what happens. Insulin is what's keeping your belly fat. And Sharon, if you could reach down and grab an inch or 2 or 3 or more of belly fat, insulin levels are the reason. Even if the doctor said your insulin levels are fine, your symptoms matter more than your blood work. Insulin is making your fat stay stuck. So lowering insulin is going to be our first key step. And here's how we're going to do it. We're going to discover your metabolism shift rhythm. Because at some point, say you go to sleep, you stop eating at 7 p.m., you go to sleep, you wake up at 7 a.m., you're not that hungry. 10 a.m., you're not that hungry. Noon, you're still not that hungry. Don't eat, because your body is shifting into the other fuel tank. Think of your body as a Prius or other hybrid car. It has 2 energy tanks. One is the glucose, sugar from the food you've recently eaten, and the other is fat. It can only run on those 2 fuels, sugar, glucose, or fat. That's it. And when it runs out of sugar and glucose from the food you've eaten recently, it shifts to the fat tank. Now, if we are able to shift to the fat tank for the right periods of time in a way that you don't feel hungry or miserable, we can discover your healing rhythm. But first, let's discover your metabolism shift rhythm. And here's how you're going to do it. Tonight, stop eating or drinking any calories 3 hours before bed. Don't eat or drink anything, starting tonight. And postpone all calories until you're authentically hungry. And this is where it gets interesting. Authentic hunger is something us Americans have lost touch with. It means when our body physically craves food because we're having a dip in energy, or we know that if we eat, we'll feel much better, or basically authentic hunger means our quality of life will dramatically decrease if we don't eat. And we lose touch with that, one, because hormones get out of balance, leptin and ghrelin. They're not really talking to us correctly. And second, just the accessibility and the abundance of food now. There's so much food accessible, and all you can take on an app, push a couple buttons, next thing you know, knock, 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 here's your Burger King, or here's your stir fry, here's your Chinese food. Food is so accessible now, and we use food for so many different reasons. So developing the skill of hunger awareness. Am I physically, authentically hungry? Or is it just the good smells? Or I'm feeling bored or sad or happy or glad, or my friend or family offered me some food. Being aware of when we're hungry is a new skill that will help you get back in touch with your natural hunger. Now, when you decide, because here's the thing, you're reclaiming your power. your power to decide, your power to choose, your power to know your own body. And so when you decide, hey, I'm hungry, simple, drink 16 ounces of water and wait 16 minutes. Ask yourself that question again. Am I authentically hungry? Now, I find with a lot of women I work with, this relationship with hunger, it seems so obvious, but it really takes some focus and some attention. Because if you're hungry, then you should eat and record how long it takes. So that's day one, starting tonight, going into tomorrow. Day two, same thing as day one. And if you are listening to your body, you should be able to go a little longer before you get authentically hungry. Just because your body's getting better at shifting over to the other energy tank. And when you first shift, it feels like you're having a hangover. Feels like you have no energy. And some women can shift really easily. But for some, it's not comfortable. It's definitely not bad for you, but it's not comfortable. But I don't want you to be suffering. I don't want you to be starving. Instead, I want you to do it in a way that works for your body now. We have some time before the holidays, before Thanksgiving. If we start shifting now, we'll be able to not gain a single pound during the holidays. Because I'm going to give you a special formula to use 3 days before Thanksgiving and 2 days after, and you won't gain a single pound. So this is your blueprint for the week. But don't worry, you don't have to write it all down or memorize it. Because guess what, Sharon? I've created for you a worksheet. And I will put that in the chat. You get it just for showing up. And this worksheet will guide you through, and you just track what you do between now and next week. Boom. There you go. And I'll talk you through it. You're basically tomorrow's day one. Tonight, write down what time you stop eating, which means starting your fast. So stop eating, starting the fast, same thing. So when you swallow your last bite of food, your last food meal of the day, write it down. And tomorrow, break fast doesn't have to be just in the morning anymore. Whatever time of the day you decide, you choose that you are authentically hungry and you eat again, write that down too. And then you're going to write down how many hours you spent fasted. Day two, same exact thing. The time you stopped eating the night before and the time you ate and how many hours. If you're listening to your body, you'll naturally be able to go longer because your body's going to get better at shifting. But don't go longer than you want to. That's the great thing about this. Listen to your body. If you feel hungry or miserable, eat. No problem. The next day, you'll be able to last longer until you feel starving or miserable. On day three, same thing. And on day three, sometimes I see some surprises. I've had some ladies that can only go 10 hours. I've had some ladies go 38, 40 hours. So it really varies from woman to woman on several factors. But the most important thing is you, Sharon, because you're the one here. Listen to your body and see how long you can go without being miserable from hunger. Because you're shifting your metabolism. You're burning fat and you're healing your hormones. The thing I want to drive home, this is not just short-term weight loss. This is healing your hormones because every time you postpone food, you're healing your hormones more and more. Just like Jennifer. Jennifer says, I can't do this. I'm going on vacation. I'm too old to do this. And Jennifer did it. And Jennifer does this on her own now. That's a good thing. After you learn to do the shifting, after you learn to do the 4 components I'll teach you, you can do this on your own happily ever after. truly eating what you want without gaining weight. Now, Jennifer said, but I'm going on vacation. I can't do it during vacation. I want to eat whatever I want on vacation. I said, that's the thing, Jennifer, you can. As long as you eat it during the right cycle rhythm. It's rhythm eating. And as long as you eat it after the time of postponing food and you eat the right way, you won't gain weight. She believed me. And in fact, she lost weight while on vacation. And the good news is you don't do the same thing every day. In fact, I want to go back here. Notice on day 4, eat however you want. If you want to eat first thing when you wake up, go right ahead. Any way you want to eat, absolutely fine. Day 5, though, you're back to discovering, get curious because you're discovering your metabolism shifting place, where your metabolism shifting zone is. What is your rhythm? And the thing is, you won't know your rhythm until you get curious and discover it. And your rhythm will change the more times you shift. Now, I've got good news for you, Sharon. You figure out what all 7 of these are, and you can use these numbers to establish your fat burning rhythm for the next week. And I'll be back. Next week, I'm going to do another live, absolutely 100% free, and I will answer your questions. And I will also give you more instruction. So keep track of this over the week, and I will help you guide you. I'll help answer questions. But get curious, because you're discovering. You don't have any rules to follow. You don't have anything you have to hit, but you're discovering where you are now. Just like Jennifer did at the beginning. All right, but what do you eat when it's time to eat? This is very important. Your first meal of the day and your last meal of the day, for this to work, must be hormone-healthy foods. Now, hormone-healthy foods are foods that are going to keep us in fat-burning mode and keep the insulin levels down. Because when insulin goes up, you don't even know it's up. You can only tell by your belly. But when it goes up, not only does it stop your body from burning fat, it stores more fat. Also, it diminishes estrogen. And whether you're in menopause, perimenopause, or postmenopause, your body's still making estrogen. It's making it through the adrenal glands. If your ovaries have stopped because it's just that period of life where you've had hysterectomy, your adrenal gland and your adipose tissue have been making estrogen for you this whole time. So, insulin pushes estrogen down. Insulin makes you keep your fat. Insulin makes you store more fat. We want to decrease insulin. And that's what these hormone-healthy foods are going to do. Next week, I'm actually give you food lists to go along with it. But for now, I'm going to give you a broad idea. Fiber does not raise insulin. Fat does not raise insulin. So healthy fats and healthy fiber are the way to go. Protein has a small effect on insulin. However, you want protein because it's going to make you feel full, and it's also going to keep your muscle mass. Because we don't want to lose weight. We want to lose fat and keep the muscle. And green vegetables. So these are the hormone-healthy foods. And next week, I'm going to give you a whole list. I'll give you a list you can take away. But for now, you can go on my website and see the list too. We can get it here. But know that these are the hormone-healthy foods. Now, the unhealthy hormone foods. Sugar is the enemy. I cannot say this enough. Sugar spikes insulin automatically. And the worst thing you can do is go hours and hours without eating, healing your hormones, going into fat burning mode, and then start off eating with starchy carbs or sugar. And it's not the calories. Oh, I'm going to put a slide in there for that. It's not the calories. The calories in, calories out equation does not work anymore. It is the insulin impact. It's what it does to your hormones. So the best thing you can do after a period of not eating is have protein and healthy fat. Have fiber from greens, have vegetables. But the protein and healthy fat are going to be immensely helpful. Now, it will not always be this way, but right now we want to get a running head start and start burning fat. So we really want to decrease insulin. Now, if you eat carbs during this time, it will not be the end of the world. You will still make progress. It just won't be as fast because the insulin's going up. This is hormones, not calories. And it's a hard shift to make. It's a different shift to make. We're not trying to cut calories. We're trying to heal hormones. And the more we stay in a low insulin state, the more fat we burn. So heck, if we can heal hormones and burn fat at the same time, sounds good to me. All right. So we want to stay away from grains, breads, oatmeal, one of the healthiest foods out there. In fact, you've probably done diets where you eat oatmeal every morning. Stay away from oatmeal. Fruits. The only fruit you should eat are berries. Dairy. Greek yogurt, thumbs up. Some cheeses, thumbs up. So there's lots of foods that you can and should eat, and there's other foods that are going to work against you. Do you have any questions about insulin, about metabolic shifting, about the healthy hormone foods, Sharon? And I will say this, when you eat, don't go into diet mode. When you eat, and it's time to eat like an adult. Don't stuff, don't starve. That means stop when you're satisfied. This is going to balance out your leptin and ghrelin hormones, which will help you be less hungry and burn more fat. All right. So if you don't have any questions, I'm going to tell you what we're going to talk about next week. Next week, I'm going to give you the whole healthy hormone food list. And something a lot of people don't know about is the emotional hormones, specifically cortisol, has a huge impact